This is new. Have you heard that before? They just added it, I think, to be more.
I heard it today for the first time and I was surprised and alarmed.
There must be new.
Pretty much my life. So like, yeah, as soon as I added it, I probably heard it.
Yes, you are consenting to be recorded.
Everyone's consenting to.
You know what happens when the lawyers get involved?
Okay, so we've got a few of our key invitees and speakers looking like they're arriving. So again, I'm going to paste the agenda in the chat again for any of you who have just arrived, and then we'll hand it over to Michelle to kick us off. So give me 1 second. Or actually, you can go ahead whenever you're ready, Michelle.
All right, well, welcome everyone. I'm gonna call the meeting to order at 6:59. And I know that we have the county report first, but maybe we'll do Dobbs Ferry first, and George will join, or Sherry can give.
George is here. So you want to start with George?
All right.
You don't have to go with me first. Go with whatever you'd like.
No, that's okay. Whenever you're ready. I know you just jumped in. No pressure.
Sneaked right in, Michelle. Well, if you want me to start, I'll be brief. And Sherry, who's on, and Ellen Hendricks, who's on, also may have other pieces to puzzle. Quickly, the news on COVID, which I generally leave each month, is very good. We're down to 614 active cases countywide. That's a continuing drop. Well under 1,000 cases. We were, in mid-January, at 11,500 cases. So 11,500 down to 614 is obviously good news. That's a sign of the rise in the vaccination figures. We are one shot in the 50 percentile range. We're about 50% double shot, just shy of that, and that number is only going to grow. So we're getting a high amount of the community vaccinated. We have focused lately on vaccinating young people now that they're eligible, 12, 13, 14, 15-year-olds. We had a pop-up at Dobbs Ferry High School last week that involved some of the high schools in the Rivertowns. So all of that is good. And the simple comment is, if you want a vaccination, get it now. All of that difficulty in finding a vaccination is behind us. What we're dealing with now, once we handle the young people, is the people who aren't vaccinated are basically because they don't want to be vaccinated. And that is not a small percentage, but the majority of people still, have been vaccinated or will have been vaccinated. We hope that will be a sign of people going out more. They go out to restaurants, they go out to stores to shop because they feel safer. And I think we all see more foot traffic now than we saw, a few weeks ago, months ago. And that's a good sign. Also, the spring weather, I think, is helping in a number of different areas. The other thing that I just wanted to report on very briefly is that in the month, people have started to receive tax bills if you own property from the county government. We're one of the 3 or 4 taxing authorities. You have your village, your town, county, and school district. And school district is the dominant amount of taxing. So for the second straight year, we have had a reduction for all Greenberg property taxpayers in your county tax. It's not a big number. It's 1%. You had a 1% cut last year and you have a 1% cut this year. It's not enough to go out to one of your fine restaurants and have a big blowout party with your relatives, but at least it's back-to-back cuts as opposed to increases. And depending on what your tax obligations are, the county, can be something like 20% of your tax bill in round numbers. But if it's cut, it's better. And hopefully that will be some degree helpful. And we think, and I said this in last week's State of the County message, we think we'll be able to cut taxes a third time this year, third time in a row. I have no idea how much yet, because we have to really do the budget. And it's always subject to things that may yet happen. And all of us are at the mercy of events. But at least it's a little bit of good news. So the virus goes down, the vaccines go up, and county taxes go down a little bit. Hopefully that's a good report, Michelle, from my end.
Hold on, taking myself off mute. Thank you for that. Any questions before we move on to Dobbs Ferry? Or Sherry, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, I just want to add, I mean, I hope everybody watched the State of the County last week, but if you didn't, it is available on Facebook, and it does paint a very good picture of us moving forward in a positive way. So I found it very inspiring. I know I can't be objective, but I would encourage you all to watch it. The other thing I really want to talk about is that we are doing a series to help minority and women business enterprises called Connexpo at Home. In the past, we had a big Connexpo at the Westchester County Center, and then we had Connexpo North up in Yorktown. And right when the pandemic hit, we were supposed to have a Connexpo in Yonkers that I coined Connexpo Yo. So this is Connexpo at Home. There are 3 virtual sessions for MWBEs. The first is the ABCs of MWBEs. You know, what does it mean to qualify? What's the difference between certification and registration? How do I get certified? Why should I get certified? The second installment will be doing business with the county. So it'll be the county departments talking about what they're buying and how you can sell it to them, whether it's goods or services. And it's a wide variety of things. So it's a lot more than you think it is. And then the third one would be steps for success, and really encouraging minority and women business enterprises to get involved with chambers and to seek out business organizations and communities and networking and doing a lot of the things. So I sent the flyer out already. Elizabeth has it, but I'll post it in the chat as well. We're still compiling the information from the local business bounce back survey. So we extended the deadline, and I'll put the link to that as well. But there's some very telling information that has come out. I've gone through the first 350 applications very carefully and getting all the data together. I've been attending some ribbon cuttings lately, which is really nice. It's nice to have people excited and have the community come out to support the local business. So, you know, I'm happy to do those. And certainly this is very convenient for me to do it here. So very, very happy to do it here. And I want to thank Michelle personally. I have given her name to several different chambers and places that were trying to figure out the outdoor dining thing and how to do it, how to approach it. And her counsel's really been invaluable to a lot of people, and they've all thanked me for introducing them to. So thank you for that. And I think that, you know, we say it takes a village, it takes a town, it takes a county, and the more we could work together. If you guys are trying to figure something out and you can't quite get it, maybe I've talked to somebody who's figured it out, and I've been in a meeting like this in a different part of the county. So, you know, please reach out to me. I want to be a resource for you. We're having another multi-chamber summit next Thursday. We had great results and great relationships were formed from the last one that we did. And there are many chambers that are now working together on various programs and events and things like that. So, you know, I'm glad that there'll be attendance, you know, from this chamber, but, you know, reach out to me. I'm here. I'm literally right here. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sherry. Yeah, Sherry is a great connector, really. So much information. It's great. And I am excited about all the in-person stuff. I'm kind of dreaming about maybe our next chamber meeting, maybe in the fall, trying to do something. We'll see.
Yeah, no, I'm getting now we have the Mamaroneck Chamber is going to have their first in-person meeting at the end of June. You know, I mean, it's at a big country club. It's like a big, but like, I don't know. I mean, we have a big river. So
Yeah.
that's all I'm saying.
Yeah. One thing at a time. All right. So thank you for the county report, Sherry and George. We're going to move on to the Dobbs Ferry report. We have with us tonight both the mayor and the village administrator here. So I'll leave it up to you guys. Who would like to kick it off?
So I'll start, but I just want to welcome everybody. And I don't know if anyone has met our interim village administrator. So I'd just like to welcome him, and I'll give him a few minutes to introduce himself and address your concerns. But before I go there, I just want to get some feedback from you guys. You know, we did the loading zones. We've taken some parking spots away, and we did some loading zones throughout the downtown area to help alleviate double parking. Give me your feedback. It seems to me there still seems to be double parking going on there. So has anybody seen any improvement downtown?
Do you mean like double parking by the delivery companies or by people in cars?
Both.
Both.
Have you seen it, or is it just my imagination?
I don't, like, as a comparison to what it was, I don't know. I would say maybe just, it's awareness. They've got to become aware of it.
Yeah.
I think don't the signs say like commercial loading zone? So I think if cars knew that they could stop there to unload something, they probably would. But it makes it feel very much like it's just for the trucks that
Well,
come.
which is what it really is, but that should have alleviated some of the other problems. So,
Oh, yeah.
so do you see, I mean, has it helped the businesses at all having the loading zones?
I don't know any of the people on here, with the exception of Michelle, who are directly engaged in businesses on Main and Cedar. And how long ago did it actually start?
I would say we did it about 2 months ago.
Really? Okay. I would have expected it to get, often it'll take a while before everyone gets familiar with the fact that they exist. I think it's a great idea if we could get the trucks to do that. And maybe the incentive is, when they double park anyway, of getting a reminder that they should be using the loading zones by the police.
Yeah, has there been kind of heavy enforcement, or are you guys
No, I don't
easing
think
into that?
Yeah, I think we're easing into it. So I just raised the issue, and if you want to give me feedback on that, I'm happy to hear it. Having said that, Richard, the floor is yours. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, thank you. Let me just make sure I'm unmuted, right? Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to, what I do here. Can you see me? What I do?
You were never muted, but now you're turned your camera off. So you're either hiding.
Okay, there you go. There you go. Anyway, thanks for the opportunity for me to come in and speak to you and share this evening. I've been here since the end of January. Interim administrator came in to assist the village in this interim period. I think I've had an opportunity to meet a bunch of you already. Had a nice meeting with the chamber and run into different people at different meetings and stuff like that. I'm a lawyer by training. I've had a lot of, let's say, experience or exposure to local government on many levels with the Village of Austin's City of Peekskill. I was a town attorney in the town of Austin. I did intermunicipal agreements with Austin and Newcastle, helped their ambulance corps up there, different things like that. So I sort of got backed into it. I was always interested in urban government and urban politics. So Westchester, born and raised from Briarcliff originally, and got involved in Austin, was more interested in that type of urban political situation. And so we were able to accomplish a bunch, and in Peekskill as well. Was there for 5 years in each of those two communities as the manager. And in Peekskill in particular, was on a big economic drive as a very successful restaurant downtown. And at the time when a lot of the Hudson River towns had issues, they opened up their second and third floors to artist studios from Brooklyn in particular. And so they have over 120 art studios there. So, and we were also able to, collaborate with the governor, if you will, and obtain the $10 million downtown revitalization. So these are not easy things. I was given the opportunity to come down here to Dobbs Ferry. It's a really nice community. And you guys are doing so much anyway, and you have such an engaged, educated electorate and citizenry that you already have so much underway. And I just enjoy sort of looking around if I can help to facilitate improvements or any ideas. I like to do projects and brainstorming and stuff like that. So, we were able to hopefully help in getting the parklets up and running again. There's always give and take. But after that, we actually received a lot of phone calls from different communities around the county, like, how did you do it? What was the components to it? So it was sort of good to been able to go through the process. So we've had a number of other things that we've been working on and thinking about. Try to see if we can help with the farmers market, maybe bolster that, so you can get something going there a little more aggressively. I did a major sculpture tour for the Austin Bicentennial. And so I had somebody do some touring, create programs for that type of thing. Could be historical things, could be art sites, work with Arts Westchester, got into the New York Times. So we met with him recently as well. It's another resource. I know you're coming up, I think, for your sesquicentennial, Elisa said. So, these are all different things that we're looking at and I enjoy. And then, of course, we have to do the nuts and bolts of making sure that everybody's relatively happy too. So anyway, that's what I'm sort of into. And I open to any questions, and anybody has any suggestions or ideas and they want to get things moving or, share, you're welcome to contact me at any time.
Thank you. We'll open it up to any questions for Dobbs Ferry. Anybody on the call? No Dobbs Ferry questions. I guess it's going all right in Dobbs Ferry.
I guess so.
Had our trustees meeting last night.
What's
Oh,
that?
We just had a trustees meeting last night. So there was we were all on last night listening, I'm sure, and Patty was there. So
I even spoke. I was the only person who spoke in the public hearing.
So basically you're saying all your questions have been answered and there's no additional questions.
All my questions have been answered to the extent to which they will be.
I was going to say, no, they're never all answered.
That would take too long.
That's fine. It'll make for an efficient meeting for us, but I know we're looking forward to our reps, KJ and Patty are looking forward to ideas for Dobbs Ferry. So thank you for coming and giving us a report. Do you have any questions for us from the chamber? Any thoughts? Not right now?
Not right now.
Okay. All right. So you're welcome to stay on also if you want to, hear about all of our business. We keep it pretty tight. So, so it won't be too long of a meeting. So we'll move on to old business. Committees have been assigned, which are this year's working memberships. And we have not, and in the treasurer report, you'll hear a little bit more about Dina, where she's at, but we have not issued any invoices for anybody who did not sign up for a working membership, which means you get a discount on your membership, but that will be coming. She's just kind of taking things one step at a time here. The next item under old business, now on our website, and it's clickable in the agenda, and I'm sure Elizabeth is putting it in the chat, is the resources page. So we were sending out a lot of things via email, and we decided to kind of consolidate our emails, unless it's something really urgent, to sharing things from the villages, another for county, state, and federal information, and there's a couple other categories. But we created, Jennifer and Elizabeth created this fixed resource page on our website that has clickable links to everything that we know of that gets sent to us. I follow a lot of things, obviously, on the Restaurant Association. Fabian, who's the membership chair, sends a ton of stuff about female and minority-owned businesses. So, and we have tried to put in like some dates for things where we could, so you guys can kind of keep track of, if you're looking to apply for something, you have an idea. But for the most part, it's click through and read a little bit more about the information, but there's a lot there to look at. So the next item is, I'm sorry, still to come is community calendar, which I think is almost there. I think I saw that, right, Elizabeth, from Jennifer. And then next up is then also dedicated member business promotion emails. In order to do that, we want to build up a mailing list of residents, which our mailing list is definitely, more than our membership, but we really want like a dedicated resident mailing list where they opt in to hear about things that are going on specifically in Rivertown businesses. And so we'll be working on ways to develop that list. Next item, new monthly newsletters. This is what I was talking about before, where we're kind of consolidating things. So you'll see once a month county, state, and federal news, once a month village news, and it'll be all 4 villages. And Elizabeth is in touch, with Sherry, and she's in touch with the reps. But if you have anything, throw it our way. And I think the other ones are chamber news, specifically chamber news, or chamber like adjacent news, like if we're collaborating with an organization on something. And then we do our monthly recap, and anything that's kind of like a one-off alert that's more urgent, you might see pop up here and there, but we're trying to really consolidate it. That was it, right? For the newsletters? Okay. Next item is we're still looking for TikTok signups. So the membership committee is working on a program where someone will physically come in and help to film these themed TikTok interactions. It's not necessarily dancing, so don't be intimidated. But there, if you click through the link, there is a form that you can fill out, and it gives you, I think, once you get through part of it, ideas of kind of the challenge. They're called challenges, and so like lots of people will just kind of recreate this challenge, right? And that's a lot of what happens on TikTok. So you'll kind of pick a challenge that you think would be interesting for your business, and then we'll reach out to you to schedule a time and have something filmed and put together on the Chamber TikTok. And then you can also download these videos and share them to Instagram. So we'll be making sure to share them on Instagram also. Last item under old business, we had a really great Q&A session with Ramona at the beginning of the month. We had a few members on there who really got to pick her brain on all things taxes, and it was a lot of really great information. And Ramona has a program that she does that's really more kind of like an involved. It's multiple of those sessions, and it's really helping you to better understand finances and tax situations for your business, so that it's more of a collaboration between your accountant, as opposed to just, you saying, here, take my taxes and do something with it. So it's a good thing to do. Women, in business, we talked about that, feeling kind of like when we were on the call, like, maybe it's something that happens sometimes with women where they don't feel, like they know all the language and what everything is. And so they, hesitate to ask questions, and really, like Ramona said, she encourages asking questions and really getting to know, all of this part of your business. So moving on to new business, we officially have an application for a program that the Minority Owned Business Committee is working on. It's going to be, TAP is the accelerator project. They help small businesses in a lot of ways. We have had an event with them in the past with the Chamber, but one thing that they have done recently is they both have like a boot camp, which is more extended, and then they have a more condensed kind of, they call it a pivot, where it's kind of an intensive, they look at the financials of the business and they help businesses kind of strategize how to become more profitable, how to manage costs more, whatever it is. And it could be all a range of things, but they really take like a big picture look at the business and have a couple of meetings with the business owner. And so what we're looking to do is the Chamber is looking to sponsor a few of these sessions specifically for minority-owned businesses in the Rivertowns. Priority would go to businesses who may have not been able to access any kind of pandemic federal state funding for whatever reason. So we're hoping this is kind of like one extra step to help those businesses kind of pull through if they're struggling. And the TAP will really take, like they said that they'll take a box full of receipts if that's, what a business has. They're very flexible, and it's one-on-one. So it's, all of this information is just going to be with the counselor that's working with them. And TAP is a great organization, so it should be a really good program. So the committee is talking about ways to do a little bit of outreach within the villages for this, to make sure that businesses who may not be online, you know, or who may have a kind of like a cultural or language barrier to participating in these kinds of things or participating in things online. We're going to try to do some direct outreach just so everybody's aware of it. And hopefully we'll get a lot of interest in it. So those are due by June 7th. If you know any businesses in your village that you think, you know, might want to participate in this, feel free to share the application with them. They don't have to be a member. I'm sure we'll figure out a way to bring them on as members. Obviously we've deferred dues for people that need it this year. So, but they don't have to already be members to participate. Number 2 on new business, membership drive and referral bonus plan. So we wanted to come up with an incentive program. One of the things is to get people to sign up for this new resident mailing list, and the other is to drive membership. So we've let businesses opt out of membership this year, and so obviously that hurts the bottom line and keeping people on staff to kind of keep all of these projects and things moving. So we're hoping that what we're going to do is purchase gift cards that will be from member businesses, and there'll be an incentive program to either sign up for the email list or become a chamber member. And worked into that will be for membership. If you get somebody signed up, you and the person who signed up gets a gift certificate. So it's good for current members also. Third item is Dina and Elizabeth have been working really, really hard on tackling our invoicing for members. And it's a tricky program to keep track of members and to just to kind of navigate the whole thing. And it's very time consuming. So we have decided that it would be useful for the chamber to hire a membership coordinator. We're still putting together a job description, but it would be a very, very part-time position and flexible. You know, some times of the year will be busier than others, just like what we're doing with Kate and with Elizabeth. This could be a member of the community who just, you know, wants to work a few extra hours, has interest in, you know, in building up the community. It's definitely a very small commitment. We'll probably start with maybe 5 to 10 hours a week. So look for a job description. Think of people who might be interested in being our membership coordinator. There'll be more on that to come. Next item, villages, Village Pride events. So we've had a lot of different organizations reach out to the chamber to participate in in-person events, and our position still is that we're, you know, we don't have the resources to really dive into in-person events again. So we, and we'll talk about this later, we've sponsored a virtual event with the library. But we do want to promote a lot of the other events that are going on. So we're both sending out information about these events to our members in case they want to participate. And this is my son in the background trying to get your attention. So we're sending out that information. We're sending out that information. And then what we're trying to do is also compile an email of all of these events that we're being told about. So including the event, you know, the virtual event that we're sponsoring and everything that's kind of going on. I think the school is doing one thing and a couple of different organizations are doing other things. So we're trying to compile all of that into one, just so there's a, you know, a place for that to live, and we can help facilitate this for everybody that's reached out to us. We also had a pride flag design by Robin Hellman a couple of years ago when we did the Pride Trolley, and it's formatted for an 8.5 by 11, so you can print it at home. So we've posted that to our website, and that way businesses can just download the link and be able to print a pride flag to put in their window for Pride. So we encourage you to do that, and look out for emails about ways that you can participate more.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I know. It's so convenient. So next item, Women's Social is coming up on June 8th. And do you want to talk about it? Give us just like a synopsis, either Kate or Elisa, either one of you?
Yeah, we're going to have another women's networking group and we're going to feature Kate doing what she does so well in the kitchen, and hopefully we'll be able to pair that with some special wine and we have some terrific sponsors already lined up. And thanks to Elizabeth and Michelle and Kate for working the phones. We're really excited to get everybody together again. It was a lot of fun last time.
It's looking it's looking like a super, super fun event. I'm always excited for Kate's classes though, so. All right, so let's move on to updates from the board. For my report, I just have one quick item, but before I talk about that, I just want to say thank you and point out that all of these committees and these reps that are about to give their reports, have been really involved and have tons of great ideas and have been working really hard. And so, I know it was a heavy lift when I came on to really create all of these positions and get everybody to get moving. And our ask was really just, give the time that you have and we'll move things forward. And I think everybody's just kind of exceeded expectations here. So thank you for everybody for putting in the time, and all these exciting things that have happened and are happening with the chamber are really great. So I appreciate that. The one item I have to report is my kind of project that I've been working on is restaurant meals. We had gotten a grant from the county and we exhausted that, and we did a GoFundMe to do a few more meals. We have a donor that's looking to make a donation, and one of the partners that we've worked with, which is the Dobbs Ferry Food Pantry, is interested in figuring out how to do they were previously accepting cooked meals, but they'd like to move to a gift card program. So we're going to try to pilot a program this summer with their at-home individuals, clients that they help. They bring items to their home for whatever reason. It's hard for them to get to the pantry. And so we're going to try to pilot a program with them where we move from cooked meals, because there's a lot of coordination and logistics that go into that, both for the restaurants and for the food pantry, to a gift card program, and see how it works out for their clients. We did have some other organizations when we had the grant use gift cards. It has its own labor intensive kind of things, but it did work out really well. And we, everybody who was able to get one was really excited to be able to, to order from a restaurant in these times. So we're looking to kind of restart the interest in donating to that, and hopefully this donor and this this kind of pilot program with the food pantry and gift certificates will help us kind of generate some new momentum and get interest in driving more donations. So that's it. That's all I have for mine. So now we get to move on to other people talking. The first one up we have is our treasurer, Dina. She has a couple items to touch on.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Yeah, just a few things. First, just to update you on the budget, specifically the members' dues collection effort. We are on track. We had estimated for the year in the vicinity of 9,500 to be collected. We're at 8,800. And as Michelle mentioned, we're scrubbing through the membership list because there are some members who were still on the list and invoices had gone out, but they're not members anymore. They've moved on, or their businesses have closed or whatever. And Elizabeth and I have been working on just paring that down and getting that accounts receivable number to a realistic number. But we're still on really good track. We're definitely going to exceed that number. We are going to be sending out, again, Michelle mentioned, we're going to be sending out reminders for those invoices that are unpaid. And we also added the option on QuickBooks so that people can click and pay either with credit card or with bank transfer directly on the invoice, using the invoice link. Of course, Zelle and PayPal and all that will still be available, but I think it'll make it a little bit easier for people to just, they get the invoice, it's in front of them. If they're planning to pay, they can do it right away, seamlessly. Right now, I would say we're about paid or members who are active but not paid because they've opted out and are working members, we're at about 52 active, and I have about 70 invoices out there that I'm going to be sending out again. And so last week, Elizabeth and I attended the Westchester County Business First Report webinar. This is for the other grant that we received that has to be reported back to the county by June 30th. So I'll be working on that, getting the invoices and reconciling the payments for those invoices that are relevant to the program. So we need to definitely get that done, and but we have a little time to get it all done. And I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's my update.
Thank you, Dina. Next up, we have our village reps. We'll start with Ardsley. Do we have
Hello.
Connie?
Yeah. How's everyone? We've got lots happening in Ardsley, and I've continued to reach out to various community members. So I felt it was a pretty productive month. We're going to start off right now with the Memorial Day celebration. You know, historically, it's been a parade. It's not a parade this year, but they are going to be celebrating in Pascone Park at 11 a.m. on the 31st. All are welcome. I mentioned last month that Ardsley too is celebrating 125th anniversary. That'll take place in October, but we have a flag design contest that's underway right now. There'll be 3 different designs, and it's open to elementary school age, middle school and high school students. We're excited about that, and hopefully we'll be able to share that around the village when winners are selected. In celebration of Juneteenth and Pride Month, Ardsley's Multicultural and Diversity Inclusion Committee is developing a number of different projects. So we'll be sure to share what they are with everyone so that, you know, everyone can participate. And again, it's not just an Ardsley celebration. Good news, Ardsley passed their school budget this past week. So we look forward to some good things happening, continuing to happen in the schools in September. We also have from the Recreation Committee, tennis clinics beginning in Pascone Park. They're going to be held Saturdays and Sundays starting June 19th. It's for 6 weeks, and the classes are going to be divided into aged groups. Registration is taking place right now, so if anyone is interested, please go to the Ardsley website and click on Recreation, and you'll be able to register. Also happening, June 19th seems to be a very popular date. We will start the summer concerts in Pascone Park again at the gazebo. You can go to the website and see all the different bands that will be playing each month. It looks like a good lineup of some local bands. We also have a summer chess program at our community center for both beginners and advanced, all ages. So if you're a chess buff, please go sign up. And we host an annual garage sale on Sunday, June 27th from 10 to 4. You can either attend to purchase some nice wares, or you can actually register to display some products that you may want to be selling. So please take advantage of it. Hopefully we'll have good weather. I don't know whether they have a rain date or not, but I'll look into that. And the last event that I've been able to identify right now is the public library is going to be hosting a Zoom event on the book Raptors for Rookies. That's on June 1st, which is next week, from 11 to 12. So please sign up, sign your kids up if they're interested in dinosaurs. And that's it.
Great, thank you. I don't think Heather's on if she had anything to add.
Heather couldn't make it. She doesn't have any major update right now, except that we can include, if we get her a blurb for the mayor's newsletter for June, we should do that this week about anything we want to promote for the chamber, so I can do that. And then she's kind of just hoping and waiting for some of the chamber membership flyers that the membership committee is working on. So that's the update from her.
Okay. Yeah. And I know, Connie, I know you share these events with Elizabeth, but the Pride one specifically, make sure once you have details on those, because I think, Elizabeth and Kate will probably pull that list together pretty soon, since we're hitting the start of June. We'd love to share Ardsley's events also. Next up is Dobbs Ferry. Kristen or Patty, who wants to go?
Kristen, why don't you do it this time? I think I went first last time. I don't have much to say.
Yeah, it's quiet on the Dobbs Ferry front. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of things to report. The administrator, Richard, did reference the parklet program is up and running. So I encourage everyone to check out the restaurants on Cedar and Main, and also around the corner Cookery did a really sweet job on theirs. The other thing that we're kind of working on, Michelle and I had the opportunity to meet one-on-one with Richard a while back and talk about just the way that the chamber and the village administrator and the trustees could have a more seamless relationship. Michelle, Patty, and Elizabeth and I met in our one on our kind of update to talk about kind of putting together some recommendations, if you will, and taking them to Richard or the next village administrator when that full-time person is hired, to think about ways that the chamber can be more proactive with the trustees, get our issues in front of them sooner than later, ways that we can kind of stay in front of business needs and not wait for them to be issues that are front and center at a trustees meeting when there's kind of limited amount of time to talk about all of the considerations and for us to be represented. So I've been kind of starting to think about what that could look like, and we'll continue working together. But if anybody has any thoughts or grievances or things that you would like us as reps to smooth out, would love to hear them. But that will be a major initiative for us coming this summer.
One other thing, the village is working or trying to work on the idea of improving crosswalks. They've looked at a number that are very, great concern. Ashford and Storm Street, where the aqueduct crosses Broadway. But Trustee Nell I think it was 2 meetings ago, also talked about doing something in the downtown at Cedar Street and Main. And I think what we need to do maybe is remind everyone that several years ago, we actually did a study of the downtown crosswalks. We have the designs that were done for several crosswalks in the downtown. One piece of one was actually built, which was at 75 Main. We did the bump out to reduce the crossing distance for the crosswalk. Unfortunately, the other side of the street didn't get done, but working towards that. I know they're already doing what they can with the CBDG grants. So I don't think it's going to be in this pass, but it would be really good to get them thinking that that's a major important thing that not only benefits the safety of people in the community, but makes the downtown a more walkable environment, which benefits all of our businesses.
Great. Yeah, it'd be great to see those little bump outs all over, like it is in front of 75 Main.
Yep. Well, Christy Nell also talked about doing a rainbow crosswalk up at the intersection of Cedar and Main, which I think would be really cool. I gave her some names of some fellow miscreants that I participate with, where we do that in kind of a more rebellious way. We actually have, we painted the bike lanes in Brooklyn at one point in the middle of the night. I'm not against doing stuff like that, but people keep telling me that I'm too old and I won't do well if I'm in stir. So
Yeah, because
You
we
know
know
this is
Dobbs.
recorded and being shared, right?
say what?
This is recorded and being shared. You might not want to talk about your bike lane painting in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out there.
Trust me, there's no one that didn't know who did it. I mean, I don't, I leave a good shadow, easily identifiable at a future date.
Kate and I looked into this when we planned the previous Bright event, and we talked to the group that does it in Nyack.
Yeah.
And the village is very collaborative with them. I think it's at like 6 o'clock in the morning. They come out there and they help to just like block the street, and they have a group of people that just come and just do it, really quickly. And I think they said they used tempera paint, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And rollers, and they just had like a system where they just knocked it out like really quick.
And they said that as soon as it rains, it washes away, like it wasn't a permanent thing. And yeah, it was a very collaborative.
Yeah, I was
effort.
actually in Nyack with Mike Lydon and Sam Goder with a paintbrush. So we did, it wasn't quite what we really wanted it to be. It was one bike lane around a block. So it didn't really go anywhere, but kids were riding around the block, which was nice. But I think we just need to make people aware of how easy it is and how it doesn't adversely affect traffic, other than maybe slows it down just a little bit, which is another thing that often people don't understand. If the cars are moving a little slower, that's actually better for our businesses as well. You see the storefronts, you see what's going on. So I think it would be the benefit to everyone. The difference between driving at 40 miles an hour and 20 miles an hour from Irvington to the Hastings line is approximately 1 minute. So I don't see any reason that we can't slow people down in our downtown and let them drive. And particularly if it's more interesting, if we can give them a better show, then I think they would enjoy it. It'd be, win-win-win for everyone.
We agree. More feet on the street.
Yep.
All right. Moving on to Hastings. I think I saw Joanna.
Hello. Okay, got a lot of stuff. I'll try to speak quickly. As far as downtown updates, we wanted to give a shout out to Borough 6 Wine Bar on its first ever Michelin recognition. They received a Bib Gourmand this month from the prestigious organization. I don't think anyone from Borough 6 is on tonight, but we're really proud of them. Storefront openings update: Fashion Without Trashin opened this month at 3 Main Street in the space formerly occupied by Corey Glass and Framing. 578 Warburton has a newly signed lease, and a new women's fashion shop is anticipated to open in September. Home Market on Spring Street is also making headway on renovations, with an anticipated opening this summer. Hastings is looking forward to its first Welcome Back weekend on Saturday, June 5th, which will take place on Warburton Avenue between Main Street and Ballard. They close down the street from 5 p.m. to traffic, so the stores and restaurants can move seating into the streets. If you haven't been, it's a lot of fun. You can dine out and breathe in the fresh air and see your neighbors, and usually the businesses put out a few specials as well. Following the successful return of Hastings Flea on May 16th, 2 more dates have been scheduled now for June 27th and September 12th. So if you are someone who's interested, or any of the members are interested in possibly tabling there, you can find more information at hastingsflea.com. Following the success of our inaugural South by Southside block party, organizers, which are on this call, have requested 2 additional dates to be added to the event calendar, potentially July 10th and September 18th. Following the adoption of new village code regarding vending permits in Hastings, the Rivertowns Chamber representatives delivered a letter of recommendations and best practices for future vending policies to the board, and the first vendor to operate a license under the new code will be Borough 6 with a vintage hot dog cart located in the VFW Plaza this summer. I think we mentioned that previously, but sounds really yummy. As far as community updates, the Recreation Department is working on a series of outdoor movie nights, possibly at Zinser Park during the summer months. Details will follow soon. Hastings Little League is hosting its annual wiffle ball tournament this Saturday, May 29th from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. It's a yearly tradition founded by Police Chief Dosen. It brings lots of spectators to Uniontown. The Good Witch, Bread and Brine, and Penny Lick Ice Cream will be serving the food, so come cheer on the kids. on, oh, and this wasn't on the memo that I sent earlier today to the chamber because the details weren't solidified until later this afternoon, but we are going to have both a micro pride celebration at the Good Witch Coffee Bar that's being organized by a few local residents that will include some LGBTQ plus Broadway alums singing various inspired songs, entertainment. There will be chalking, there will be tabling, there will be potentially a drag king performance, a lot of great things going on. And then that will be immediately followed by another Juneteenth celebration in Draper Park, which is currently in the organization process. So definitely a lot of fun things that are going to be happening in June. And then as far as our local schools are concerned, the 2021-22 Hastings school budget was successfully passed in a village-wide vote on 5/18. We elected 3 new board members, and the class of 2021 will participate in a village-wide car parade on Saturday, June 12th. Local merchants have hung signs of support in their windows and are currently being asked to consider special discounts for the grads through June 12th. I hope that wasn't too fast, but I was trying to get it all out and not take forever.
Great. Great. That's great.
It's all in the notes. I'm putting it in the notes so everyone can.
Yeah. What is 578 Warburton? What space is that?
That was Leah Irby.
Yes. Right next to, right, where Penny Lick was. Okay. Or is, I should say.
Okay. And yeah, I know you and Maud, I think you picked those dates, and I don't know if I responded, but yes, those are, hopefully the village is good with those for South by Southside.
Well, Barb can chime in if she'd like to. We had a conversation earlier today, and you know,
they could be, they're probably,
it's in play.
Yeah. And I spoke to Lisa, by the way, Joanne, after we spoke, and we could have a crossing guard that's not a police officer, so it could work out staff-wise. The only thing about that, Michelle, is that it's the same night. Those are both nights when we're closing Warburton for outdoor dining, so it could work because they're different time zones. It's just a matter of whether you want it on a day when there's nothing else happening. So people aren't thinking, should I go to the day thing or the night thing? And it's the only thing happening, unless you think that's still fine and people will come to both. And that's your call. But the welcome back sort of dining on Warburton nights are like every other week. So depending on your schedules, I just asked Joanna to talk to you guys about which you prefer. You want to be in the, like, it might be nice if you're in the middle and like that's the thing that's happening that weekend downtown versus 2 things in one day. But I think logistically, I spoke to Lisa, we don't think there'll be a problem logistically if you do want it on the same day. So it's really your call. All right. So
yeah, I think, I mean, I guess it could go either way, but there were a lot of people that did not want to leave the party at the end of South by Southside.
It'd be super fun to do both. Yeah. All right, so just picture it event-wise, think it through which way you want it, and yeah, it should be fine. I mentioned I would try to I would talk to the village about, updating the flyers on the village's expense, as well as having a little budget for music again at both, like last time. But so yeah, no, I'd love it. It was really well received. Everyone loved it, and the mayor was there and saw for herself, and I know we'll have everyone's support. So yeah.
Great.
I had a couple other quick things to add if I can remember them.
Yep.
That was very thorough, but there were a couple of things. What was it? Oh, so about 15 merchants have, or so 15 to 17, I'd have to look, have signed up to offer a discount to our graduating high school seniors, which I think was a really nice, great response. And we're getting that over to a parent and a senior who are going to get the word spread to everyone. And I'll get it added to the Hastings Happenings thing too. Tomorrow I'll get that list in, so it'll be good for the month of June. The space next to the store that was just us who signed the lease, Leah Irby, was the cleaners, and he's renovating that space right now. So it's not on the market yet, but that'll be for rent in about 2 months when he's finished updating the space.
Was that wasn't the cleaner that had a lease issue, right?
You mean with the people who left?
did they end up, there was one that I feel like had a few months back had an issue with their lantern lease and then they worked it out.
But you know what, it was way more than met the eye in that situation. The landlord is really quite nice, and sounds pretty amenable, and the cleaners, the couple they wanted to retire, or at least one of them wanted to retire, so it was more complex than it seemed. He seems very nice, and the new tenant is from Tarrytown, and she had a clothing business in Brooklyn. She's always wanted to have a business of her own, selling home goods and clothing, and she loves Hastings, and she's got 3 young children who said, "Mommy, you picked a shop in between a bakery and an ice cream store," and they couldn't be happier. So that's exciting. And I feel like also the only other thing about this Welcome Back weekend is it's Saturday, June 5th and Sunday, June 6th. It's also the River Arts Music Tour, which should be happening in all the villages and people's backyards and front yards. There are the spaces they're using this year. And the library is having its annual book sale. And the middle school is having a multicultural book fair. And we're having sidewalk sales during the day. And then at night, we're closing Warburton for dining, as Joanna said, and River Arts is having their open mic at the VFW during that as the music for that night. It's sort of like their night programming. And Sunday is the first Hastings on Jazz Day. 16, that was the other thing I thought, 16 weeks of Hastings Jazz Collective performing a free to the public sets from 3 to 5:30, 2 sets. And they'll be, and just to activate the downtown, not all businesses are open on Sundays, but maybe they might want to be, or in any case, there are restaurants that are open for sure, and some shops, and people can spread out on the lawn, and it's just, another way to bring people into the downtown. And lastly, the village has decided to do a waterfront concert series of 3 concerts, and the dates are tentative, but it could be as early as the last Tuesday in June, and as late as the first Tuesday in August, but only be 3 of those. We're working with signing the talent, and so that's going to happen. And I was just curious, I know the Ardsley rep is still on. It's hi Connie. You mentioned concerts in Ardsley in the park.
Yes.
If anyone from any village has any feedback, we're just wondering how you're dealing with are you going to be dealing with the COVID issue at the events? Like, are you going to be monitoring that, or just asking people to wear masks and space themselves out? Or
I believe that's what they're planning on doing, but I'll get definitive word on that.
Yeah, I'd be so interested. I'll put my contact information in here. I'd love to know.
Okay.
Thinking about how to handle that. And yeah, that's it.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. So much going on in Hastings. Moving on to Irvington.
Irvington's not here.
Okay. We don't have a update from them, right? Okay. So next up, committees, unless I know we just talked about the upcoming women's event, and unless you have anything else to add, I think that was probably it for the report, right?
Oh, that's it.
Okay. Minority owned business. We did talk about the program and the application. I think Tony is in the middle of working.
And Ramona's here too.
Oh,
if Ramona,
where are you? Sorry, I'm always, I have like the agenda here and the photos here, flipping back and forth. Ramona, do you want to add anything else? I know you sent us kind of the whole outline of how you were gonna, maybe she's not here.
I am here. Can you see me?
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I think your image is frozen, but.
Oh, okay.
For you.
I'll turn it on and off just to see. So no, I think we are very excited to launch the program. We once Elizabeth and Michelle, if you're good with the outline, and we're ready to roll it out, Patty and Tony, they're on board, and I'm sure Fabian also, to help us communicate this program to the minority-owned businesses in Westchester. I outlined our proposal for that, and we're happy to hear your feedback, and really looking forward to seeing a lot of business owners signing up for it, hopefully.
Yeah, great. And thank you so much for really drafting the communication, the message to go out, because so that I'll start working on getting that set up to go out to our mailing list.
Yes, and we have next week we are sending our own newsletter, which is focused on resources only, and I want to include this particular one in that newsletter, so that's gonna go out next week.
Great, thank you. Tourism, I think.
Tourism, Jen couldn't make it at the last minute, but we did get an update. If I can find it, I can go through it. And we also received the update from Fabian from membership. So if I find both documents, we
want to just run through both of those.
Yeah, bear with me because I thought I had. There it is. Okay, so tourism committee, opening the document. Sorry, I wasn't prepared.
It's a lot of information we have to keep track of.
I know my emails are full. Okay, so tourism committee. Well, this is basically we received it today as a whole tourism committee 2021 strategic plan. So I think Michelle and I will be looking this over, but it looks like the strategic plan has, you know, the highlights of some research that they'll be doing to research local regional chamber organizations for best practices for promoting existing events as well as creating new events, and researching how other chambers are creating opportunities for bringing tourists to the region. So they have some projected timing listed for what they're going to do in summer and then in fall. And then their other key initiative is promoting key events. So ideally leveraging 2 existing events per quarter organized by chamber members to promote the local, regional, and national community to garner awareness. And so they have some proposals for support services that they will need, which I, to be honest, haven't gotten to look over yet. So we'll go through that in terms of, you know, creating landing pages and some marketing materials, and they have some projected timing on that. So it looks like they have a plan that they've pulled together, and I'm assuming it looks like they'll now start engaging, once they hear from us, engaging with the rest of their committee to really put it into place and start getting it going. So anything you wanted to add to that, Michelle, that I missed?
Nope, I think that's good.
And then for the membership committee, you may have seen, I don't know if we've had announced it, but we had another committee that was the Young Professionals Under 40 committee. We recently decided, just for bandwidth purposes and because it made sense with everything the membership committee is working on, to combine the 2 committees. So now the Under 40 committee chairs have moved within the membership committee. Like Michelle mentioned, there's the TikTok initiative. It looks like we thought we had a TikTok intern, and it's not seeming to work out. So we are once again on the lookout for a TikTok assistant. I will pull together the job description and maybe share it in this meeting recap, so anyone who might have ideas can share it around. We'd still, like Michelle said, want more members to sign up for TikTok. And I think the biggest news is that this new raffle and membership sign up drive will be a big push. That the team is, the membership committee is working on putting together their list of businesses, member businesses that we can purchase the gift cards from, using some of our remaining grant money before the end of June, so we can get that going. And they're also going to be creating a QR code card and flyer handout that then can be spread amongst all of us, so we can spread it through our villages and have something easy to hand out to make it easy for people to sign up as a member or sign up on our mailing list. So I think that's it. I'm a little bit over our time, but that's that's it for the committees, I think.
Yeah, so and then we just have a few new members. I know Lucas was on at our last meeting. I don't see him here. So just if any new members on, you know, we let you guys kind of introduce yourselves. Christine,
I don't think the Amenta Nutrition team was able, I don't see them here. And our newest member as of like yesterday,
yeah, Go Education.
New member and sponsor of Women in Business. So they went all in right at the start. So
we love it. We love that.
Amazing commitment.
Yeah. All right. So welcome new members. And then the last kind of section on our agenda is community news. Before we do member updates, I think we touched on everything Pride. I don't know if I mentioned the date for the virtual Pride events that we're sponsoring, which is June 9th? No, you're on mute,
muted.
sorry. I think it's 11th, isn't it?
Yes.
The 11th?
The 11th, yes. I had to double check that.
It's the Drag Queen Story Hour, which is what we did to kick off the Pride Trolley previously. And then the drag queen came onto the trolley with us, and it was a lot of fun and a really great event. And
I went to that, it was so good.
Yeah, the library reached out to us to see if we wanted to collaborate on that again. And obviously we're not doing the trolley this year, but we jumped at the opportunity to kind of facilitate and sponsor Drag Queen Story Hour. And then also our membership chair, Fabian, does these really fun dance classes.
They're like unbelievable. They're really good. They're really good.
There's gonna be that. It's kind of two separate Zoom sessions, but they follow each other. So we did a Facebook event, and I'm sure we're gonna send out emails about it. So that's our chamber kind of virtual sponsored Pride event this year. That will be it'll be active and fun. So, and you don't have to be a kid to go to Drag Queen Story Hour, anybody.
And it's all virtual. I don't know if you said that, Michelle. I'm sorry for the redundancy, but it is all virtual.
Yep. We're sticking to virtual for now. And then I know that the ConExpo thing Sherry talked about, but it's linked here again in the agenda, the workshops. And the last thing is if we've missed anybody else that might have announcements, members, updates, now's your time. Nobody?
No announcements, questions?
That's okay.
Everyone's tired. Everyone's ready to wrap it up.
Lots of information, I know. All right, so our next meeting is going to be June 30th. Next up is the Hastings mayor for our guest speaker, and we'll see you then. We'll adjourn the meeting at 8:05. Thanks,
Good night, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for being here.
Good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Good night.
Bye.